And that's how I found out Zlatan Ibrahimovic was conceived in a blimp.
Fair enough.
Hello and welcome to the Phil Shy podcast. I'm Peter Bell, and with me as always the nice man of comedy, Paddy Linton.
Hello.
Now, it's been a while since we were last here, with a combination of the comedy festival, holidays, international breaks, so we apologise for that, but we're back, and we were going to start with big Premier League news, but a story happened in the past week that we both felt that we couldn't ignore. So here we go. A fan, a spectator as it's put here, in the Saudi Arabian Super Cup, or Saudi Arabian Cup, appeared to whip a player from the crowd. And when I say whip, I mean with an actual whip.
Have you seen any footage of this? Like, because I'd like to imagine it's like a big massive whip, and he's like, I'm not whipping him in a centre circle, like fucking run.
I'm not googling Saudi Arabia whip, right?
Yeah,
no,
true,
I'm not doing that. But no, so apparently the player had thrown water at him, and he responded by trying to whip him.
Who takes their whip to the game?
Well, this was my favourite part of what the Saudi Arabian Football Federation have said. They will review their spectator code of conduct.
No whips, that's it.
Aye, right. Wait.
Just have a sign with like a big red circle.
We gave you a chance, lads. We gave you a chance. You were allowed your whips, never take them away. Why would they ever allow you to bring them?
Just take your whip.
Just in case you were taking your wife to the game or something.
Do you know what? I actually edited myself where I was going to say something like that, and then I went, do you know what? I'm not going to go there.
It's fine. I think it's perfectly fine to acknowledge that Saudi Arabia has a little bit of a backwards view towards women. I think that's okay to say.
Yeah, you're probably alright. You're probably alright.
Probably safe.
Probably alright in the money now.
But yeah, we just wanted to let you know in case you didn't know. That's a thing that happened this past week. So yeah,
I'll be going to a Thistle game with a whip, man.
I mean, Partick Thistle, it's hard to describe their fans, but they're not the kind that take weapons.
They're not the whip they're not whip carrying.
No, they're not whip carrying.
Yeah. Their ancestors might have been.
Comedy. Right, okay, so we will go on to some actual Premier League news. Since our last pod, Everton have been deducted 2 more points, and Nottingham Forest have been deducted 4 points. Which means that there is actually now a relegation battle for that final third spot. Because I think they're on. So let's see, Luton Town are now just 2 points behind Everton and 1 point behind Nottingham Forest, which I think Luton would have taken at the start of the season at this point to still be in the running to stay in it. So Burnley are like further 5 points behind. I don't think they're catching anybody.
Gone.
Yeah. Despite the fact they're picking up a couple of results recently.
Sheffield United gone.
Sheffield United are definitely gone. But the thing is now, I think the team above Everton are too far ahead. Brentford, I don't think they're likely to drop into it. They could, but I don't think they're likely to. All 3 teams, Everton, Luton and Nottingham Forest, are in very similar form.
Yeah.
Both had the same amount of wins and losses in the past few games. I think there might be a disparity somewhere else.
Goal difference.
Aye.
I'll have a poor goal difference.
It is genuinely interesting. The thing that might impact it even further, obviously Everton have been handed 2 deductions so far. Whether Nottingham Forest get another one, they're both appealing. Everton and Nottingham Forest are both appealing their deductions. But through that appeals process, you could get a further deduction, because it's basically you need to reanalyse what
so
you've done.
It's no like you're appealing against it, like you're appealing it and they look at it again. Do you know what? 5 points.
Because you can't submit any further evidence or all that kind of stuff. Now Everton have been very compliant and haven't haven't to keep anything back. They've just gone, given them everything. I'm not sure how Forest have done it. But their owner's a bit of a nut job, so who knows. Luton have a chance. Luton have a fighting chance.
My favourite meme to come out of it is it's Ant and Dec and how in that Saturday night takeaway thing where they get like a celebrity and give them an earpiece and tell them to do mad shit. It's like they two laughing and going, go on, just take another 2 points off Everton.
That, I mean, particularly for Everton fans, it must be so galling to see Man City still with 115 charges.
Man City romping into the fucking Champions League final and winning every trophy.
And they're the ones getting done for it. It must be infuriating.
Make sure you're rich enough to have 1,000 lawyers as well.
Yeah, that's a trick. Yeah. What do we think then? Who do we think's going to go down now?
I really want Luton to stay up.
Yeah.
I've got a real soft spot for them. They remind me of Blackpool. I've said it before.
Aye.
They remind me of Blackpool when they came up for that season and just went and played against teams. Like they would lose 5-1, 4-3, but like they've come out to play. And our fans, even at the Man City game, 5-1, they get absolutely drubbed. All our fans stayed to the end, clapped them off a pitch. Like, it's hard not to love a team like that. Do you know what I mean?
I kind of want Luton to stay up as well, just because, well, there's that classic British nature of you want the underdog to succeed, and there's also just like you say, they actually try and play a bit. They get in people's faces. They don't look afraid. But it's also just for the story, man. Just because it's something a bit different.
Their pitch is somebody's back garden.
Exactly. And with Forest, they've got a lot of players I like. And in my head, I'm kind of going, they've got too much quality going forward to go down, really, surely, because of...
they'll be fucked if they go down.
Yeah, Morgan, Gibbs-White and stuff like that. Yeah, but exactly, they've spent so much money.
Luton haven't really, they never went mental.
No, not at all. They've been quite... Well, they didn't really have the option to go mental, to be honest with you. But, so, yeah, I'd quite like to see Luton stay up. Everton are obviously a storied and historic team. They've never been relegated. You know, they're one of they've won titles and that in the past, so it'd be bizarre to see them go down. But so Forest, I suppose.
Dice ball, mate. There's no room for it in the Premier League. Get it to fuck. The only thing I'd be like, I wouldn't mind seeing Everton go in because they've been so shite for so long. But like, the only thing you would miss is the Merseyside derby. Yeah, that'd be a shame to not have that.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the way that Everton have been run, I don't think I'd be annoyed to see them go down. They've been skirting around that for so long now. If they went down, it'd be like you've only got yourselves to blame. And they would be in so much trouble with that new stadium and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. Like, neither Forest or Everton can afford to get relegated.
Yeah.
And I was about to say, you want to see players like Morgan Gibbs-White stay in the league. If they got relegated, they'd just get signed anyway. He probably will get signed.
Go to Leicester or something.
We probably won't have time to discuss the Forest game later, but it was fucking bizarre seeing Gio Reyna, one of the world's hottest young prospects. Like, genuinely, for the past 5 years, he's he's the next big thing. He's a generational talent. There he is, playing for Nottingham Forest. It's fucking weird.
I don't think we're going to talk about the Burnley game either, but did you see the end of it?
No.
Pass back to the goalie that were under his foot for a one each. They were on course to get a rare win against Brighton. And it's added time. Pass it back to the keeper.
Muric or Duric or what's there? So maybe they'll put...
It was hilarious.
Traffic back and
It was hilarious.
Paddy doesn't hate Burnley though, that's important to remember. The other big news, this is not Premier League, but Leverkusen won their first ever Bundesliga title.
Magic.
It was... let's put this into context for you. Bayern have won 11 out of the last... Well, they've won the last 11, sorry. And I think they've won 17 or 18 titles since the year 2000.
And then they signed Harry Kane.
And then they signed Harry Kane. Take the boy to Spurs, can't take the Spurs to the boy. So it's incredible. They're completely unbeaten in all competitions this season. In fact, they've got their win percentages in the three tournaments they've played in. So DFB Pokal, 100% wins, nothing else. Bundesliga, 86%, and Europa League, 89%. It's just mental. It's obscene.
It's amazing.
But the most impressive stat of it is that Granit Xhaka has played 41 games in all competitions for them, only has 5 yellow cards and hasn't been sent off. That's almost as impressive as going unbeaten in all competitions. So well done, Xabi, man. You've done some
stuff. He's staying next season, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
I'm really glad for Leverkusen, because it'd be pure shite to build a team that wins the league and then go to Bayern and try and beat that team. Probably rob a few players as well, and then...
Well, hopefully, if they go far in the Europa League, maybe win it, and as things are going, you wouldn't say there's many teams that stand a better chance. So they go on and win that. Combination of the Bundesliga money and the Europa League money, they might be able to go and bring a few more players in. They've not done it by bringing in mad global superstars. Xhaka's probably the biggest name in that team.
The new Champions League format might suit them as well, because you get 8 games. Do you know what I mean? So and
it's really important for them that they're going to get into the Champions League and all that, because players like Jeremy Frimpong, who's in demand from everybody. Like,
Celtic got a buy-on clause for him.
of course we do. Yes. In fact, we're going to get €1 million just because he won the Bundesliga. So
did we? Whoever wrote that in deserves a wage rise, man. Like,
yeah, but Leverkusen were obviously like, yeah, we'll take that because we're never going to win the Bundesliga.
Could have wrote €10 million.
I know. But he's one of the hottest prospects in football right now as a fullback. So
it's mad because I didn't really rate him that much yourself.
Oh mate, I knew he was going places, man. I really highly rated him.
I didn't rate him. I knew he was quick.
I don't know if it's just because like in the stadium you see it a bit differently. Like you see a lot more of the individual player if you watch them. So I don't know, but he's just outstanding. And but semi-related to that, we'll go on to the potentially new Liverpool manager.
I've not heard of this guy.
So Ruben Amorim is. I didn't know much about him, so I had to go and do a bit of research on him. So what have we got here? He's almost exclusively used a 3-4-3 formation, which is something Liverpool have never used under Klopp.
Yeah,
but
that's what Leverkusen did on it.
Yeah. But and the four in midfield isn't really a four in midfield. It's the two wide players are essentially full backs.
Yeah.
So you'd imagine like players like Robertson and Trent could do that. No bother whatsoever. Yeah. It actually might help get the best out of Trent having three centre backs behind him, and him being able to come forward a bit more. And when you think of Liverpool centre backs, Konate, Van Dijk, Gomez or Kwanzaa, they'll be able to do that. They've got the pace to do that, no bother. They like to push the third centre, the middle centre back forward and create a diamond with the goalkeeper so they can play out from the back.
Yeah.
But they are a very direct team. They try and get the ball up the pitch as quickly as possible.
That's the most important thing for Liverpool fans. Yeah, that's what they are used to. That's what they're all about.
Exactly. So they've been. If it is true, supposedly they've gone and contacted them, had talks with them. Liverpool have denied this, but it's almost certainly happened. I think the Amorim himself has said that he'd be interested in the move. So it looks like it could be a very good fit. Obviously, they'll need to adapt to a completely new formation, but if you have like Szoboszlai and McAllister as those two midfielders, I think that would work really well. He plays on his front three are very mobile. The centre forward isn't really a centre forward. His job is to create space for the wingers, which again suits Liverpool very well because
like Juan de Caro could do that all day, man.
Exactly, and
run a bit because you want to keep him far away from the goal. I heard a stat like he's had the most shots in the Premier League, like 120. He's only scored like 11 goals.
Yeah. Like Liverpool fans still think he's like the next big thing.
It's pure wasteful.
God's gift to football, and like it's like he's a very talented player. But I don't know who told him he should be a striker. But most of their goals come from the likes of Salah, Diaz and Jota anyway. So that would suit them down to the ground, you know.
Yeah.
He's had quite a lot of success in his time. He's not been a manager for very long, but it looks like he's going to win his second league title with Sporting.
Yeah.
I think he picked up a couple of trophies with Benfica, was it he was at before, or was it?
Was he a player?
Yes, he was actually. There's something about his playing career. Because I think he basically got loaned out for being a bit of a knob.
For being a bit of a knob?
Yeah, I'll try and find it. Yeah, the character, here we go. Amorim himself, a colourful character I've written here, being loaned out during his time, during his playing career after criticising his manager Jorge Jesus' tactics and being given a 1-year suspended ban as a manager for not having the required coaching badges.
So
he is a guy that likes to
turned up. Just turned up like
he plays fast and loose, you know. So like Liverpool fans are like that. They you know they don't want a straight edge guy. Like Klopp's a bit mental as well. So yeah. So I think he'll be a good choice for them, but I do think he's handed a bit of a poison chalice with this because you're still following a legendary manager, and there's only so well that can go. But it did get us thinking about the best and worst sort of transitions we've seen in managers. I don't mean like Steve Bruce is called Siobhan there. I mean like after one manager leaves and the next one coming in. So we're just going to have a wee chat about that.
Every example when we were talking about this was all Chelsea.
All Chelsea.
It's all Chelsea.
To be fair, they've had like 300 managers since Abramovich came in. But we'll start with the most obvious one, and it was the first managerial change Abramovich made, and that was bringing in Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
Now, this is not to disrespect Ranieri at all. He was a good manager, but Jose just took them to another level. Here we go. Get some. Yeah. So his win percentage was like 15% better than Ranieri. So for a kick off, and that's over his full first time. So even when it started to go a bit wrong at the end, he completely changed Chelsea overnight. Obviously, they won the league first season.
Yeah.
Which meant because of the money, them being in Europe, his personality and charisma, and the fact that they were Premier League champions, they could attract a different calibre of player that Chelsea weren't able to attract before.
Drogba's and such.
Yeah, exactly. When you think about Man City, it took them like 3-4 years or something to win the Premier League. They do it straight away first season he's in.
Aye.
So that just puts them like 3-4 years ahead of where they should be.
Yep.
And that completely changed the complexion of the Premier League for the next 15 years, because Chelsea became...
And not just the Premier League, just football.
Oh yeah, because
Greece won the Euros using the same tactics.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It changed football for the worse.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think Chelsea fans would agree.
Yeah.
He also won like FA Cups and stuff like that at Chelsea. And he just basically, I mean, he was in that time arguably the best manager in the world, and that's when Alex Ferguson was still active.
Yep.
And it just shows the impact he had. He basically turned Chelsea from a sort of middling team to one of the best in Europe. Yeah. Now to go for one of the worst managerial transitions, and again we are still with Chelsea, we will be this time. It's the wonderful Andre Villas-Boas.
Remember him, man? Handsome boy.
Yeah, he was, but he had the thankless task of coming in after one of the greatest managers of all time.
Yeah.
And Don Carlo, Carlo Ancelotti, in case you didn't know. So Ancelotti had won the Premier League, the FA Cup and the Community Shield during his short stint at Chelsea. AVB didn't win those things.
But he looked great.
He didn't win anything, is what happened.
Nice suit, 3-pencil tie.
Again,
nice hair.
If you look for a model, he would have been perfect,
mate.
but he wasn't a model manager.
Was he not a Porto manager before as well?
He was.
They were like, what did we do the last time?
Yeah.
We got a Porto manager in and that worked too.
This will be exactly the same as that, and then it just fucking wasn't at all. So let's see. His team was starting to decline. Pressure was building on him. And with results going poorly, he pulled the whole team in to try and have a meeting on one of their day offs about why is this not going well. And at that point, out loud, in front of Roman Abramovich, a lot of the leading players questioned his tactics.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and player power is huge at Chelsea, or certainly was under Abramovich. If Terry and Lampard didn't like you, you were gone.
And same as Gerrard at Liverpool.
Yeah,
Gerrard didn't like the manager.
100%, yeah. Players are more important, and that was the main thing there, especially with Terry and Lampard. And later on in the season, not too long after that, actually, in the Champions League, he left Lampard, Essien and Ashley Cole on the bench. And the board went, why did you do that?
What the fuck, mate?
And then shortly after that, I think they lost to Man United, and he was punted at the door with a win percentage of just 47.5.
Still enough to get my Spurs job a couple of years later.
Yeah, that's very true, actually. Yeah, but they don't have aspirations, do you know? Yeah, so... Another example of a good one, I think you were the one that suggested this, was Antonio Conte.
Aye, after Goose Hiddink.
Yeah. It's a shame for Hiddink, because he did really well when he first
when he was the interim.
Yeah.
And they get like bumped out of Champions League after Barca, the semi-final.
Yeah.
Where they get cheated essentially. They should have had like 5 penalties.
Oh, I've watched see if you watch a counter video to that, it shows all the things that Barcelona should have got that they didn't get as well.
Just a bad refereeing performance.
You find what you want to see in games like that, but yeah, the referee
it just suited the narrative though, because Barca scored in the last minute.
Yeah.
Screamer.
And Drogba's mental breakdown was always fun.
Yeah.
So Conte 65% win percentage. Hiddink was 39.29. As a Chelsea manager in this day and age, that is just insane to think of.
Man.
Conte, first season, equalled the Premier League record of 13 consecutive wins.
Yep.
First manager to win 3 consecutive Manager of the Month awards. Set the record for the most wins in a Premier League season, 30. I imagine City's beaten that by now.
Yeah.
And obviously won the Premier League, and he would go on to win the FA Cup the next season as well. So compared to...
Pure stomped the league that year, I remember that.
I remember a couple of, maybe 2 months into the season, watching him. They were losing a match, and then he made some changes, and completely turned around the game, and they went on and like won it 3-1. And I just think I've not seen a guy be able to change a game like this other than Ferguson in a very, very long time.
Because he was a pure leader on the pitch as well.
Yeah.
Like,
He managed to
he wasn't long retired when he was a Chelsea manager.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
He managed to turn fucking Victor Moses into one of the best players in the league. It was wild.
Victor Moses.
And he brought in Marcus Alonso like to play
right.
left wing back, and people going, he's so slow. Well, he's not going to be able to do the job that you want him to do.
Did he not score like 10 goals this season as well?
And they put him on free kicks and stuff. And it's like, what, the guy who used to play for Bolton? Really?
That's your guy.
Premier League winner. And then for the last worst example we'll use is Graham Potter. Feels slightly harsh. But he was following Thomas Tuchel, who, whilst he lacked domestic success, did win a Champions League, a UEFA Super Cup, and a Club World Cup. He was a runner-up in a couple of domestic tournaments, but he had a win percentage of 60, and Potter's was 38.71, which is the second lowest in the past 25 years, surpassed by only Cenk.
Chelsea manager? Recent era?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Frank Lampard's second
stint,
where he had a win percentage of 9.
9? How many games is that? Like 12 or something?
It wasn't long because it was just to the end of the season.
But still, that's fucking horrific, innit?
For a club legend as well, that's not what you want, is it? He was sacked just 206 days in with with a goal difference of just 2.
Just 2.
So it wasn't a happy time for Graham Potter, but he's bounced back. Wait, no, he hasn't, has he? No, he's not been.
No, what's he been doing?
I don't know. Just he shows up at stadiums and
making wee ceramic bowls. Potter by name, innit?
Yeah. Okay. And I do need to change the tone to something a bit more serious now.
Yeah.
So Monday marked 35 years since the Hillsborough disaster, which claimed the life of 97 Liverpool fans. The ensuing fallout saw a cover-up by law enforcement, perpetuated by news outlets, and I use that term very fucking loosely.
Yep.
And a long battle to get justice for the victims. It's still going on today, 35 years later. We are, in essence, a comedy football podcast, so we don't want to dwell on this too much. But we do want to say that I think our thoughts are with all the victims and their families. I know people personally that were affected by this.
Aye.
I mean, the whole city pretty much was. So our thoughts are with them. But most importantly, to the Sun and everyone involved with them, go fuck yourselves.
Fuck the Sun newspaper.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Aye.
Anyway,
scumbags.
On to the weekend's football. Well, where do we want to start with this? Liverpool. Seems that Liverpool Palace.
Yep.
Palace love fucking up Liverpool title challenges, don't they, man? They did it with was it Rodgers one?
Yeah, 3-0.
Yeah,
they were 3-0 up, and
then Dwight Gale went, I don't think so.
Aye.
Yeah, man, they love spoiling the party. It wasn't quite the same thing, but it was the first game, or one of the few games this season that Olise and Eze have both been on the pitch for them.
They said that's only the 4th time they've started a game together.
Yeah, and they win.
2 of them are good players, man.
Really, really good players. And it just shows how important they are to have them. Because, as much as Liverpool peppered Palace's goal, Palace had a few opportunities as well. I think they had something like 8 shots on target.
Alisson made a fucking phenomenal point-blank save.
And Mateta should have probably got a goal as well.
Yep.
But, well, I have to say Liverpool started really brightly, created a couple of decent chances before Palace scored. And that was pretty much the story of the game. Liverpool created loads and loads of chances, just didn't score.
Before this weekend, you'd have said Liverpool had the easiest run in. They were definitely favourites because they were out in front. But
even now, they still have the easiest run in, but you're not really... After that Atalanta result as well.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
The wheels came off.
It's just mental to think about, man. And obviously he was saying, we'll bounce back, and then it's just not quite happened for him. Yeah, I think with the Palace goal, what was really interesting is the way they approached it. They used those like triangles that Spain and Barcelona made famous in our lifetime anyway. Before that, I'm sure people would say the Netherlands under Cruyff was doing that kind of stuff. But like form little passing triangles, create the space, and it was actually quite a good goal football.
A really simple goal, man.
Aye, but some of the passing was really smart. Tyreek Mitchell on the overlap as well. He's a good young player, him, at left back. And it was a pretty easy finish for someone of Ezzy's quality, but got to give him credit. It was a really good goal. Although I do have to say, I have no idea what Van Dijk's doing.
Aye.
He's marking nobody.
I know.
And Ezzy's got so much space to just pick his spot and put it in. And, you know, people are talking about Van Dijk and just how good he is and all that, but he's got a couple of mistakes in him, you know, like
especially this season.
He's not the player he used to be
in big games, because every game's a big game now.
Aye. By the way, that's not to say Van Dijk isn't a world class centre half. He obviously is, but he's the
Arsenal game as well.
Yeah, right. We'll get on to that. Let's not break that.
No, I meant the game against Arsenal.
Oh, right, okay.
I wasn't just digging you, saying like stop slagging Liverpool because Arsenal get beat as well, right?
Oh yeah, because he was not brilliant against Arsenal. Yeah. No, he was not at all. I love the match of the day commentator on this, because obviously he slipped. This is what he said: Liverpool captain slipping in his own half of the field and nearly gifting a goal to the opposition. We've seen that before. Just a needless drive-by on Stevie G,
man. 12 years later.
He's never getting to live that down, man. So that was the chance that Robertson cleared off. Andy Johnston.
Andy Johnson, former Crystal Palace striker.
Andy Robertson cleared off the line.
That was some clearance, to be fair.
Yeah. He also then instantly bombed up and won a corner at the other end of the pitch. Is he been like off the boil, or have we just started to take him for granted? And
he's just been injured.
Aye.
I mean, he's just been injured constantly.
Oh, that is
season,
true
remember?
as well. Aye.
So he's always either been coming back for injury or getting injured again. So he's never had like a run of like 12 games this season.
He's still so good when he's fit. He's brilliant. Bit of a knob if they lose, but he's a brilliant player.
That's what you want, though.
It's what you want, Paddy.
That's what you want.
Yeah, so many chances. Endo hit the bar.
Yep.
Diaz forced a good save from Henderson. Jones had a couple of really good chances.
The 1-1.
Aye.
That looked a certain goal.
It's not. I know, like, he's a footballer and he should be doing better, but it's not his job in the pitch. He's there to recycle possession and keep things ticking over.
Salah had one blocked. They hit the post. It was so much like. So like, as much as Liverpool, they've lost the game, but like it's no like.
Aye, they weren't poor.
Aye, like they were making chances and probably a wee bit unlucky, you know, to get one.
Because I don't even think particularly you can say Palace defended brilliantly, aside from maybe like Joachim Anderson, who was like doing everything.
Big Prince Charming just throwing his dome a bit, man. A legend.
Nathaniel Clyde also made a
I know. I didn't even know he still played football.
I thought he was just a sort of slang term for drugs. I thought that's so. Do you want a wee Nathaniel, mate?
I've never heard anybody call it a Nathaniel. Who are you hanging about with?
Other sad football fans. Don't do drugs, kids. Yeah, so he was back in the game playing football, and he made a block, but I don't think they were really good defensively. They conceded like 26 shots. If you're doing that, you can't
100 corners.
You can't claim it was a good defensive performance. They put a lot of bodies in the line and stuff, but they shouldn't have had to do that so often. Yeah, so Liverpool had 21 shots, only 6 on target. That is nowhere near enough for that many shots.
Nah.
Palace in the hand, 8 shots, 5 on target. So they were just a bit more clinical on the day. And I suppose if it wasn't for Alisson being Alisson, they could have maybe
point
got
blank
goal.
save.
Yeah,
like they were raving about it. Like it was just like an instinctive save, but it was fucking a strong arm that he got to it a yard away, essentially.
To be fair, he is a unit of a man, so it's not that surprising.
He's class.
Right. You go into this one.
I take it we're doing the Arsenal game from that grunt.
Yeah. So it was so close to being the perfect footballing weekend for me. I was at Parkhead on Saturday. Celtic had a nice comfortable win. Liverpool lost. There was a very funny result up in Dingwall. So all I needed was just a nice wee Arsenal 3 points.
A comfortable 2-0 win.
To seal what would have been a lovely weekend, and then they fucking... Oh, to be fair, at the start, first half, it looked like I might get what I wanted.
They were huffing and puffing a bit, like without cutting Villa right open.
No, Odegaard had, like, he was complete control of the game. Finishing wasn't brilliant from but he was creating chance after chance for so many people. I mean, the amount of balls over the top that Havertz got through on, and then fumbled and either didn't get a shot away.
The one he hit straight at the keeper as well.
Or like, so he got a shot away, but it'd be a tame effort. There was a bunch of times where he was through, but because he's like quite gangly, he couldn't get the ball under control when a defender would get back at him. And
it's almost like he's need a striker.
Yeah. Do you
Like
hear that, Cronky?
Like you've been saying for the start of the season.
I know, man. I know. Like, genuinely, if they had an actual striker instead of Havertz cost what, £65 million? And telling me at the start of the season, with him having a ban, if Arsenal went to Brentford and said, we'll give you 65 million for Tony, they wouldn't have been like, aye, sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then they would have had Ivan Toney on, who would have rocketed a couple of those chances into the back of the net. I'm not saying Ivan Toney is the solution, but he's a solution.
Scorer.
Yeah, because Odegaard was just, in that first half, unbelievable, the way he was pulling them apart, the way he was keeping the ball. Just the odd touches, pegging people, and then playing the killer pass through to Saka or Jesus or Trossard. And they should have taken those chances.
I think you've found a perfect fit for Odegaard. Like for him, Arsenal's a perfect fit. The way they play. And like for Arsenal, he's a perfect captain for you.
And with Rice behind him, it gives him so much more freedom to actually be that forward player. He wasn't good in the second half, though, that has to be said. Obviously, Trossard and Zinchenko were brought into this game. Now, Trossard, I can kind of understand that thinking, because he scored a lot of big goals.
He's a good finisher.
Yeah.
Like if you get him into the positions.
But part of why he's so effective is he's coming off the bench to play against someone that has been chasing Gabriel Martinelli for 70 minutes.
Theo Walcott.
Yeah, basically. So Trossard isn't the fastest player in the world. He's a winger, but he's not like Martinelli fast. He's just a normal, like, got a normal speed for someone in his position. But he is a really good finisher, and he's got good ball control, and he's very good at reading the game. So that's why he's such an effective super sub. Bring him on, he'll spot a weakness from a tired defender, and you will be tired if Martinelli's been playing against you all game, because he's really fast. And starting him, I can get the idea. He's scored a lot of goals recently. It only seems fair to reward him, but you got to look at the big picture. It's about winning the games, not rewarding players, that kind of stuff. The only other logic I can see to it is if there was some kind of fitness concern around Martinelli. Zinchenko was just awful, though. It's the worst game I think I've seen him have.
Fit.
Yeah, he mustn't be fit. And the thing is, with how mobile Aston Villa's strikers are, you'd think keep Kivior in the team. He stays back, he defends the entire time.
Solid. He's just been solid.
Yeah, exactly. And he won't meander forward and leave gaps at the back. And as we'll discuss later, that ends up leading to at least
especially
one of
with the
goals.
pace of Diaby and Bailey coming on.
Exactly. And Watkins isn't slow. He's happy to drift out. They're like a very mobile front three, and it just seemed like it would have made more sense to keep Kivior in there, because Ben White's going to go forward as well. So at least that way you can revert to a back three and then not take on that extra risk. But I will obviously admit that Arteta knows a lot more about football than me. So
the light bulb without the connection. Fucking hell.
He's got, see, if Dyche does get relegated, you're going to just turn all your hatred onto Arteta.
Oh mate, it's already happening, man. I can't stand the guy. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's his history, right? His past. He's done things.
Yeah. We all make mistakes.
No, I'm not saying that.
We've had players that have played for them as well. He's not joking, ladies and gentlemen. So what I was going to say? Well, the form strange to make the changes. Yeah. Havertz, talked about him missing chances. End of the half, Watkins, first half, Watkins had that fucking unbelievable
so close,
attempt
man.
off the post, and then so much backspin, it just goes out of play.
Aye, like
off
spins out the other
opposite side of the goal.
Aye.
He must have been kicking himself with that. I mean, that would have been totally against the run of play.
Yeah.
But it was a huge warning sign for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Because, again, it was that gap that was left from where Zinchenko was going forward. And if I can see that that's a thing they can exploit, you'd like to think that the amount of coaches they have, they'd be able to spot that too. Trossard, his chance that Martinez makes the save from.
Yeah.
And Shea Given was saying how good a save it was. It was a good save, but he puts that anywhere else, that's a goal.
Yeah.
You've got to finish that. Which is unlike him, like we say. He is a good finisher. But the chances that they created throughout the entire game, they just have to be putting them away.
This stage of the season, mate.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between Arsenal, Liverpool and Man City.
Yeah.
Man City just fucking
Get
they
it done.
just find a way.
Yeah.
Like, even if they're not playing well.
Yeah, that is it. I would say that people are like, they bottled it. One game does not bottling it make.
I think
that was their first defeat in 2024. If you call that bottling it, then
I think because of their previous, people will say that, but you'd say the Liverpool game's maybe a bottle job because Aston Villa are fucking fourth in the league.
Yeah,
like
they're a good team,
and they beat Man City at home,
Yeah.
they beat Hughes at home.
Yeah,
like they're an excellent football team.
Yeah, exactly.
They've been a bit patchy since the winter break, but like
if Arsenal go and lose next weekend and then like the weekend after, I'll happily admit, they have bottled it. But if they've only lost one game in the entirety of 2024, I don't think you can really claim
and that includes Champions League, fucking last 16s and quarterfinals.
The problem is when you're up against Man City at this time of the year, you need to be absolutely perfect.
You need to win every game, essentially.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
And we're now in the odd position of relying on Tottenham Hotspur doing us a favour and being the City's bogey team again.
Because they've got to. That's probably the hardest game to run in, innit?
Yeah, because they always seem to struggle at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for some reason. First goal for them, Bailey is left entirely alone, whereas Zinchenko fucking should. He got hooked not long after that, but like all the space in the world to just put it into the net so easily, and I just don't know how you can't be aware that that's how they're going to play. It was such an obvious mistake, and that's what I will say. Obviously, you got to give credit to Aston Villa. Second half, they looked a lot better.
They were bright.
Yeah, they were playing some really good, intelligent football. They pressed very hard. Defensively, they were really solid. I know Arsenal had chances, but Torres and Carlos made them very difficult chances. They had an outstanding game.
Yeah,
the two of them. And I backed Carlos when he came in at the start of the season. I really like Torres for Villarreal. That could be a really solid partnership going forward. They just need to get I'd say maybe slightly better fullbacks to back them up, because Lucas Digne's not getting any younger.
Cash's alright, man. I like him.
Yeah, Cash is alright, and Moreno when he's fit is very good going forward. So they've got a basis there, but they'll be in the Champions League probably next season.
It could be fifth, would be enough.
Yeah.
So they might need to finish fourth.
Aye, that's true. It depends on what happens in the Champions League tonight.
Yep.
Hopefully, good news for me, but it's Bayern Munich, and they have a history of absolutely pumping Arsenal.
English teams, mate, just demolishing English teams all the time.
True. But Arsenal in particular was 10-2 the last time they played them in the Champions League, like in aggregate. Second goal was an outstanding finish from Ollie Watkins. Like as soon as his ball's over the top, there's nobody back defending. And God bless Smith Rowe, he tries his best.
I know,
but he's not a defensive
like 10
player.
yards on you as well.
Aye, and he manages to catch up to put him off, but like Watkins is bigger than him, he's stronger than him, and Smith Rowe's not a defender, and it was a very good finish. And at that point, it was just like, well, that's that.
I know, it's devastating, isn't it? Because you fully expected Arsenal to just be like the same as Liverpool, just pure pounding at the door, and then like a breakaway, and the game's fucking done. That's
it almost seemed like they swapped shirts at halftime, because the way Arsenal played in the first half, Villa played in the second half. And I know I've mostly been bashing Arsenal on this, because I do think the goals were Arsenal's fault, and they could have prevented them. And if they had a proper striker, I think they would have won that game, because they'd have been comfortably ahead in the first half. But
Villa had a great away performance, because you're going to be under the cosh, especially away to one of the big teams. You're going to be under the cosh for ages, and then you're going to have to take your chance when it comes.
Counter-attack, take your chances when you get them. It was a perfect performance from them. Like no complaints.
So now that Arsenal and Liverpool both dropped points, both on 71, City are on 73.
Yep.
Like percentage-wise, what would you say? Like, what's Arsenal's chance in percentage? Like, so for me, I would say City are like 70%,
yes,
and 15% for the other two.
Yeah. Well,
I'd say Liverpool probably get a slightly more chance than Arsenal.
Yeah. Arsenal have the hardest running by far, because they've still got to play Chelsea, Tottenham, Manchester United, and I know people will be like, oh, they're not in good form. Most of those games are away from home, and Man United tend to exactly two actual local derbies, and then a historic rivalry with Man United. And Man United tend to play better when they're against a bigger team.
We're not against Liverpool. They can't do it against Man City.
No.
Against Liverpool. And
the way I look at it is, when Arsenal were top of the league, I still said City are going to win it. So the fact that they're now second,
I'm gutted, man, because I wanted Liverpool to win it, because out of the three, I think they play the most entertaining football, and obviously Klopp leaving. But
our goal difference would beg to differ with that claim.
I know, but just in terms of just the directness of Liverpool, it's just exciting to watch.
Yeah,
and the amount of last minute goals they've scored this season, especially.
Yeah, but that was always going to catch up with them, man. Like you can't always go behind and come back. It eventually catches up with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, it just looks like it's going to be City's year again.
Yeah, fuck.
And speaking of the Devils, I think the only thing surprising about their game against Luton was the fact that Luton scored.
Aye. Such an unfortunate OGA, 66. Of all the things you need, you're playing Man City away, your pure relegation battle, you've went there, their plan was to go into a low block and try and get set pieces and fucking see what happens.
Yeah.
And 60 seconds in, the ball gets banjoed out of somebody's face and flies into the tapman.
Because the shot from Holland it's going nowhere near
and
the
it
goal.
Slaps his face and flies in. Such a shame, man.
See, when I watched it full speed the first time, I was like, that's some finish.
It looked like a pure scissor kick.
And I was like, oh wait, hold on a sec, that's going miles wide. He should basically lamp that off that guy.
Such a shame, man.
Is it you could see their plan, fill the box and force them out wide and just keep them out in the wings, and it worked for them in the first game.
If you don't give Haaland any space, he's kind of, I don't want to say fun it, but people figured out how to control him. Just don't give him any space.
20 goals this season.
I know, but the last he's had a bad run since pretty much January.
Aye.
So because if you just sit deep and don't leave any space in behind, because that's how he does you. If you get him in a foot race with somebody, you're fucked. Because he's big and strong as well as fast as fuck.
Aye. He'll get his confidence back and enter beast mode again. I have no doubts about that. But I mean, he broke through, and it was weird in the build up to that goal. He has that shot, and you're like, how did you not score that? It's you, because he does what you say. He breaks through. He's in behind, and he just didn't put it away. It was very unlike him.
But he scored over 20 league goals in the last 4 seasons.
Yeah.
And at his age, that's mental.
Yeah.
It's mental.
This is him having a really poor season. He still scored 20 goals.
It's he's been fun at it. Only 20 goals.
After they scored, it was sort of the same before it, but they were basically just camped on the edge of Luton's box. But they defended quite well again, forcing them out wide, trying to limit their chances. How many digs
did Gvardiol have? He scored one screamer and he's pure I'm fucking shooting.
He loves a dig, man. He loves one. He's actually been quite poor this season by his own standards. But we've seen that happen before with Man City. A player has a kind of dodgy, shaky first season, And then during the pre-season and all that, when he's just training with Pep and nothing else, he comes back second
John
season like
Stones.
fucking world class. Yeah, John Stones, Jack Grealish.
Yep.
I think he'll be alright.
Aye.
Yeah, it took them a long time to get the second goal just because of how well Luton were defending. 64th minute, and what a goal, man!
Aye.
Kovacic, not the first time we've seen him do something like that.
Signing of the season, mate. I told you. See when he scored that, I was like, yes, signing of the season.
That's him signing the season. But you remember he scored that goal for Chelsea against Liverpool, where he the ball's coming like that, and he has to change his body position. And he hits it pure weird, and then it just curls into the top corner. So he's got one of these in his bag. But it was the way he connected with it, because he had to get enough spin, so he shoots across it, so that the ball takes the right amount of bend to go away from the keeper. But he has to hit it in such a way that he doesn't put too much power and blaze it over, which is so hard to do from that position. I'd have sclaffed that miles. I'd have come in for a throw.
I wouldn't have made connection with the ball, mate.
I wouldn't have been up with play. I'd have been halfway line.
Taking your inhaler. Sorry. That's fantastic.
But he's
have you got an inhaler?
No anymore. Apparently, I grew out my childhood asthma.
You're one of these guys that look like they've got asthma.
I looked more like it when I was a kid. But, I'm looking a bit more like it.
Did you grow out of asthma?
Yeah.
You can't grow out of asthma.
You can, according to the asthma clinic I went to. They were like...
He'll grow it.
They were like... Because you go in for checkups like every year. And they're like, have you been taking your hair? I was like, no, not at all. And she was like... how's your breathing been? I'm like, fine. She's like, so do you do cardio and that? Like, I swim like a lot. And she was like, how often? She's a lot. And I was like 5 times a week. And she was like, yeah, you don't have asthma anymore. It's fine.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a fucking medical wonder.
His words, medical wonder.
You still look like you've got asthma now.
Thanks. Oh yeah, not long after that volley though, Luton had a wee chance of their own.
Yep.
Good work from, again, it was Guardiola that kind of fucked up. He got overpowered by, I'm not going to try and pronounce his name without looking at it. What was his name? Onyedima. Going to go with that. Who he's been actually quite good for them. Gets the ball into Woodrow and he just slams it off the bar.
Yeah.
I'm not saying if that went in it would have changed the game at all.
But like,
you've seen teams get rattled by Luton in that kind of circumstance.
Especially at home.
Yeah.
Even City at home rattled them.
Yeah, because it was 2-1 for City. Arsenal, I think, relied on a very late goal to beat them 4-3 or something like that at Kenilworth Road. Yeah, and they've got draws against some big teams there as well, so it can cause a bit of panic, but I don't think it would have changed this game at all. Especially because, like, basically instantly after that, Doku just went to another
phenomenal.
End. He was brilliant in this game. Yeah. The win in the penalty, like, absolutely fantastic. Quick feet, sends the guy the wrong way. The guy feels he has no choice but to bring him down. And then Holland gets his 20th goal of the season. And then later on, he genuinely just embarrassed 2 men.
And puts in the bottom corner.
Those guys have to go home and look their kids in the eyes after what he did to them. I hope you're happy, Doku.
He's so good, man.
I mean, imagine what he's going to be like again after a pre-season of training and stuff like that. He's just going to get better. Yippee.
Yippee.
What else do we have to talk about in this? Yeah, we've mentioned that it's this great old Barkley. Another goal.
But like, right, you're 3-0 down against Man City away.
So dismissive.
I know, but like, you're 3-0 down against Man City away, you score and then give it that? What you doing?
Well, we don't know what the fans were shouting at.
I know, but still, like, just fucking grab the ball and get back to halfway line, mate. Like,
oh yeah, because they were gonna make a comeback.
I know, but like, you don't fucking you don't cup your ears in front of the fans.
I tend to agree with that.
And you just don't do that. For me, that's fucking stupid.
We would kind of scoffed at that signing, but everything good they've done has come through him this season.
Oh no, he's been great. But that annoyed me.
Oh yeah, no, I get that. I didn't even notice that at the time. But yeah, like the way he's been passing for them, it just shows that even a little bit of Premier League experience can make a huge difference to a team with almost none.
Definitely.
Just having him in there, he makes a huge difference. He shouldn't be on the plane,
No.
people that are saying that. Jermaine Genius, I think it was.
Oh,
Fucking dafty. But he's a brilliant player for Luton, and if they stay up, it will be a lot to do with his influence for them.
Yep.
Obviously, I slagged Guardiola off a bit, and went and scored a fucking pig of a goal. To be fair, at that point, game's done.
Game's done, aye.
Over 90 minutes on the clock. He's just like, I'm gonna have a wee dig. It was a good goal, but I think Luton had kind of just gone, right, okay, this game's gone. There's no point. There's no point in doing much anymore.
Aye.
I think this is a really big result for City. Not just because they won when the other two teams lost,
Goal
but
difference.
it's the nature of the win as well. Because if the other teams look over and they're scraping a 1-0 or a 2-1, they're like, oh, they're faltering a bit too.
Yeah.
But they've just gone out and pumped the team 5-1, and it's like,
Any 5-1 in the Premier League, doesn't matter if again Luton
Yeah.
or fucking Man U.
aye.
So.
And at this time of the season, well, they'll just be looking, going, oh, they're doing that thing again.
Plus, you can get they brought off De Bruyne and Haaland in like 75 minutes.
Yeah.
You can get all your most important players
Yeah.
off and get them ready for next week.
And that's 17 games unbeaten in the Premier League.
Nuts.
See, when a team goes on a run like that, you just have to go, yeah, of
And
course
they do
they're
it
gonna win.
every year, mate.
Yeah, I know.
every year.
Every
From
year.
January onwards, they just become unbeatable.
Aye,
and it's amazing.
Yeah, and
But it's also,
frustrating.
it's also kind of, it's like, there's a sort of predictability about it that I don't enjoy.
Yeah, yeah. Let's move on to one that'll make you happy. Newcastle Spurs.
Yeah, man. Smashed them.
Like, what's going on, mate?
Isak's on fire, mate. He's
He is.
incredible.
He's in really hot form. That's it. What, 17 goals for the season now as well?
because it's always been when both of them are fit, who do you start? Is it
Yeah.
Wilson or Isak? And like you
It's
could make
Isak
arguments
now.
for both, but it's Isak now. Like
Yeah, it has to be.
he's got more his game.
Aye.
Callum Wilson's a great striker.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I love him. I wouldn't sell him or anything.
Aye.
Careful, keep him as a
Yeah.
replacement or an option. when
Aye,
you're-
'cause he offers something different.
Yeah, he's strong, big,
Aye.
good netter. But Isak's quick. He's really good when he's one-on-one with a defender.
Yeah.
It's a few times this season. He done it against City as well.
Yeah.
Where he gets it, he looks like he's going to go left, darts right, and then just puts it in the far corner, and he fucking put Van de Ven on his arse.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So good, man.
It's because, in the words of Jim Campbell, he is the longest man in Sweden. So
he is so long, man. He looks like
it's just so hard to predict where he's
like
going to
fucking
go.
Dowsing. It's amazing.
What I also enjoyed, Madison body checking Gordon,
He's a
and
wee-
then getting body checked by Dan Byrne and complaining that Byrne didn't get a yellow.
Horns in the head and all that. He's a wee wank.
the Neil Warnock, like,
Aye, he's a wee wank.
mate, oh, it's shithousery. And when I say enjoyed it, his face was so punchable when he was doing that.
That's
man.
the
Like,
word in the
shit.
notes. It's like, make sure you say that. He's so punchable.
He did. He looked very punchable.
He is punchable.
But this was a strange game. Spurs had 73% possession, and Newcastle won 4-0.
No, it's just because they were fucking trying to play an offside trap in Newcastle's half.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know what I mean? Like I know like Ange got a lot of credit at the start of the season, but like when you're 2-0 down,
Aye,
change it.
aye.
Like with the quality of players in the Premier League, you can't just go and try and suffocate.
It also doesn't help when Pedro Porro sees Gordon in acres of space and plays a perfect ball over the top.
Aye, with the pace of Gordon and Isak, you're just fucked, man.
Yeah,
Like,
and Bruno was outstanding with the long
Such a
balls
good
from the
player.
back again. Like,
have you seen the stat with him for his yellow cards? Because now the yellow cards get wiped with like 6
Aye.
games to go. He was like 1 yellow card away from a ban for like 7 games and never got a booking. And you know he loves a booking.
he's a genius. He's a genius.
He's so good.
Some of his passing was just superb in that game.
Harvey Barnes looks great.
Yeah, well, he was always a solid player, and he looked good when he first joined. He obviously just got that injury that ruled him out for a bit, but they've got serious options on the wing now.
Knew that, like, it's likely Newcastle finish 6th. That's a great season.
Yeah.
Like, we know where we need to strengthen. We need defenders.
Yeah,
Probably the Tonali situation. Like, if Tonali comes back and you've got him and Bruno in the
Aye.
midfield, sorted there.
aye, absolutely.
We've got a striker. We've got great wingers.
Yeah.
Like, it's just defender. Dan Burn shouldn't be starting for Newcastle these days.
No.
I know he's a local lad and the fans love him, but
Aye.
he's no
defenders.
He's not quick enough. Or
Maybe a new goalkeeper.
Nah, I like Pope.
He's
all right.
Not getting any younger, and he's got a couple of howlers in him. Like a red card as well. Let's not forget. Maybe another a midfield option, because you've got those two to sit deep in there. Maybe just another sort of more creative attacking midfielder.
Yeah,
might be a good option, and just to take the pressure off those two as well. And Joe Linton's fitness hasn't been that reliable, so
he just extended his contract, which I'm quite happy with.
I'd definitely keep him,
because he's good for a goal for midfield as well.
You need depth, is what you need.
Yeah.
But sixth place, I think any man.
With all the injuries and all that.
Aye.
And the Tonali thing.
And being in the Champions League for the first time. And it looks like if you finish in sixth, you'll finish above Man United, and every Newcastle fan will enjoy that. Speaking of, actually, let's just quickly talk about them. They're not very good, are they?
No.
Bournemouth should have won this game, and comfortably as well. They created so many chances. Man U's defending was non-existent.
Diego Dallo had the worst game of his life.
I know, and he's been their best player this season. Like the only one that looks like he gave a damn, and he's just nowhere near it.
Who was the boy that started at centre back? Like the one that fell on his arse.
It's Willie Kwambala or something like that.
I don't know if he likes him or something. Like he kept leaving him so exposed, and then every time he was getting done, he was turning around, like shrugging at him, like what the fuck are you up to?
Solanke's goal, he was nowhere but he's seen, left that guy in his own, and he's only young. He's not. I think this is his first season playing for the first team. Clivert's goal, you almost couldn't believe he was onside, even though there were players behind him. It's like no one was anywhere near him.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't think they were playing.
And everybody was jogging back.
It's mind blowing to me, man. Genuinely.
I need to get rid of Ten Hag, and this is the time to do it.
Yeah,
because there's no point in waiting and then letting him get in 10 games into next season and then sacking him. Like, it's the football's shite.
And I don't think he carries himself like a Man U manager. See, after the game, right? Obviously they're discussing
penalties.
Bournemouth's claim for a penalty, because the foul continued into the box or not. Ten Hag says not only was it that it wasn't a penalty, but it wasn't a foul.
What? He grabs him. He's stunning static, and he grabs the guy.
He says, "Oh, the player ran into him." Because he's blocking him.
Because he's running towards the goal, and the guy's stunning between him and the goal, and he just puts his arms around him and falls to the floor.
It's like he doesn't know the rules.
A fucking WWE move.
Oh mate, everything about him, like, so
he's a wanker.
He just doesn't seem like an elite level manager at all. There's still got a clear arrogance in Man U players that, we're Man United, it's fine. I think that came into play here again. We don't need to mark Kluivert or Solanke that close, because they're fucking Kluivert and Solanke. Why should we be that bothered? And then they go and score 2 goals. It's like, oh fuck, we should have done something about that.
Plus, any guy his age wearing turtlenecks is for the watching. Can't look like a roll-on deodorant.
He does.
He's got too many turtlenecks, mate. But
do you remember when he got rid of Ronaldo? Everyone was like, he's a real tough disciplinarian. It's like, clearly not, because this is the end of his second season getting to. Last year they finished 3rd. Great, that was good. This year they're in 7th, and if they finish in 7th, that will be their lowest ever finish in like the Premier League.
Is it?
Yeah. Not the first division, just
there's a mad stat, like they've faced like the most amount of shots in the league, or maybe
second
Luton or just
Luton,
slightly
but it's 574 shots, I believe they've,
and it's already more than since they started collecting data on that.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah. So Sheffield United have defended better than Man United. That's another way to look at that, guys.
Get them to fuck, man.
The thing I'd say about them is they just look easy to play against.
No.
And I know that sounds obvious, but see, Luton aren't easy to play against. Because they'll get in your face, they'll cause you problems, they'll do stuff like that. United are easy to play against.
Soft.
Yeah. And a manager's job is to make that not the case anymore, and he just hasn't done it. And he can't claim he's not been backed in the transfer market. He's got no excuses at all for why his team are so soft. Maybe Lisandro Martinez being injured, but every team's had injuries this season. and you can't just go about blaming something as simple as that. You've got to do better as a manager, and I don't think he'll be manager for very long. Put it that way.
Yep.
Is there anything else? Oh, we can have a quick word on Cole Palmer, and then we'll shut off.
Mate, perfect hat trick in the first half.
Aye, and the second one was the lofted dink is just
It was weak foot.
Aye, magic.
He strikes me as a bell end though.
Yeah, I can get that.
He strikes me as a bell end.
I mean, the argument about the penalty was hilarious.
Oh, mate, like thingy. Dele Alli, we were doing a gig on Monday, so I watched it. But I watched the highlights and the full time analysis. Dele Alli was saying, he was like, guarantee you wouldn't have had that fight if it was a last minute deciding penalty against Man City. Like, it's because you're 4-0 up, you're all fucking chasing.
It's because
Nicholas Jackson.
Palmer's had a hat trick already, so he's like, oh, he'll definitely give me this penalty. Palmer's like, no, fuck off, mate.
No, I'm the penalty taker.
I agree with Palmer. Like, if Jackson was on a hat trick, and like, you know, maybe offer it to him since you've already got yours, but he's only on one goal.
Palmer's fucking class.
We said it before in this podcast. Young player of the year.
Yeah,
he has to be young player of the year, and he needs to be taken on the plane for England.
Him and Foden are fucking. It's sickening, mate.
What's really sickening is that City can just get rid of him.
I know,
and still
be sound.
Be almost completely unaffected by it.
Well, they get rid of him to Chelsea, and Chelsea are shite.
Yeah. I mean, that just makes what he's done this season even more impressive.
Definitely.
But, I'll probably wrap it up there. Don't worry, guys. We will be back next week. Unfortunately, we were going to have a guest, but unfortunately, the Newcastle United, Man United game's been postponed. So we were going to get Joe Casey on, but we're not going to do that anymore because the game's not happening. But we'll get him on another time. Don't you worry. That's needless admin. You didn't need to know. Anyway, on that wonderful note, it's goodbye from me and goodbye from Patrick. I did that in the wrong order. My brain's fried. Catch you later.